Bobby, let's go backwards a little bit. You were with the Orioles for most of your Major League coaching career, with the Phillies for a year last year. When the Padres called, what made this job appealing to you?
You know, it was kind of exciting knowing to be reunited with Manny, but also, you know, I constantly follow other teams, and I know the direction that we're trying to go here. And you know, it was a nice opportunity to be part of it. I think we're going to go in the right direction. I'm pretty positive of that. So that's the biggest thing that jumped out at me.
What's your first impressions of this team and also this infield?
Well, we're very talented, first off. You know, you can tell this team has been put together with a lot of ability. It's just now we have to be able to play the game right, you know, and those are paying attention to details, you know, and making sure we execute both offensively and defensively. And that's what we're after, being fundamentally sound. And most people think it's not sexy, you know, playing the game fundamentally sound, but, you know, we're going to hammer it home.
Us media have done a job all week trying to describe your coaching style and what you're like out there, but I'm gonna let you do it. How would you describe your coaching philosophy and your style and what happens out there on the field?
I don't know, you know, I just like that. It may be eyewash, like Manny says, but you know, I'm not sure. I think I'm passionate. I think there's a right way to do things, and I'm not going to let them not do it that way. So
okay, let's talk about the guy walking by right now yelling eyewash at you, Manny Machado. You had him back in Baltimore. How different is he, or similar, than the guy you knew back then? And what's your biggest focus with him?
Well, it's not fair. You know, obviously he's changed a whole lot because he was a young kid whenever I first got there. You know, I mean, he was when he first got there. I mean, right out of high school, right out of the draft. So I was fortunate to be in the minor leagues with him, and you know, obviously now he's one of the highest paid players in our game, and so with that, I think comes with some of that, you know, dig me a little bit, and then, but yeah, this year he's back to kind of similar to what he used to be. He's engaged, he's receptive to little things that we've been talking about that we used to work on years ago, and so it's been an exciting time.
It's been fun watching you work with all of the infielders, Eric Hosmer and Manny Machado, a lot early on here too. I mean, you're fun out there. I mean, it's like a no BS approach, but you seem like you're having fun. You seem like you keep it light. You know, I'm also seeing a lot of drills that we've never seen before.
Again, there is a right way to do this, and you know, we're going to attack it that way. We're going to try to be fundamentally sound, but also, you know, baseball is a long, monotonous day, so you have to throw a little fun in it, and you have to be vulnerable, you know, and I like to make fun of myself a lot to loosen them up and understand, you know, they need to be vulnerable, like make some changes, be open to it, don't take it personal if I jump them pretty good about a fundamental play, and I think so far it's going in a good direction for us.
You work with some guys in the offseason, Jurickson Profar, Eric Hosmer. How big was it to get together with these guys and develop a relationship before coming into spring training?
No, obviously coaching 100% to me is that. You have to build a relationship. There has to be some trust. If you do not have that, it doesn't matter what you know about the game. It doesn't matter if you know economics and you're an economics teacher. If you can't get your students invested in you and understand that you care about them and you're trying to actually help them and teach them. I made trips, and I did the same thing last year in Philly. I went to Dominican Republic to meet with Gene Segura to make sure, you know, the first time I yelled at him, he knew where it was coming from, my heart, and Mikey Franco and so on.
That's really, really cool. Okay, another coach that came over from Baltimore, Wayne Kirby. He's a character out there. What can you tell us about him?
Curb, you know, it's a lot of noise out there, right? But I tell you what, he holds players accountable, you know, and I tell you what, if something goes wrong in the locker room or if someone starts, you know, reading their own press clippings a little too much, he'll humble you in a minute. Curb will be in your face, and he'll tell the truth to players. It was great working with him in Baltimore. It's awesome here. He brings energy. But again, more than anything, he also, it's a fun time, but it's a serious time. You know, do your job first and enjoy it after.
Yeah, there's a lot of work going on out there. That's something that we've been able to see early on. When you've got guys like Machado, like Tatis and Hosmer, and they're big billboard guys in San Diego, is it important to make sure that they stay kind of grounded and not reading their own press?
100%. Like I learned that this game does not play around. You know, the guys will top of the world one day, next day beat down, and I always joked around with guys before when I was minor league coach and major league invite, you know, coming up to camps. I'd say, listen, you better sign those autographs because one day you better be worried when they're not asking for them. So I pretty much in the face with guys like that, and Kirby is the same way, but he's a little bit louder than I am.
All right. As your time as a player and also managing and coaching in the minor leagues and the major leagues, what are some truths that you know? Like what are some things that you hold to as far as having success here at the big league level?
Well, treat the game right. You know, first of all, that means give it everything you got, and it'll reward you if you do it right and pay it the respect it deserves. Talking about the game itself, and there's no shortcuts. Everybody wants to talk about it in the industry, and we can do this and we can measure it this way or do this. There's no shortcuts. You guys are putting in the work, and the good teams, the really great teams, have players that push themselves, execute when it's time to execute, and pretty much that's about it. I mean, I just understand there's no shortcut in this game, and respect the game.
Last question is, you look like you really love it out there. Am I reading that right?
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm fortunate. I'm 54 years old. I get to be in the major leagues, San Diego Padres, with a great, talented group of players. I mean, come on. I mean, what's not to love? Other than we need to win some ball games. You know, we have got to win some ball games because it will not be that much fun. You know, I was part of 100 and something losses in Baltimore, but I was also there in Baltimore when we were really good and we were winning a lot of games. And believe me, it's a whole lot different animal when you're winning ball games.
Mentality. All right, Bobby, thank you so much for your time. We appreciate it.
Thanks so much for having me.